Hello fellow YouTubers, welcome to this video. Now, I figured you guys deserved a video. I mean, you haven't gotten one in like a month, and that was after like a 2-3 week absence. And frankly, the reasoning why is that I'm not even watching WWE right now. And that seems kind of silly, but I actually have a whole list of reasons why I haven't wanted to watch recently. So I sat on my phone for a couple minutes earlier and thought up some reasoning why. Things I don't like about the product that make me not want to watch. That being said, there are obviously good things in the company, but I don't feel like sitting down for 5 hours over the course of my two of my only 3 days off, sitting there watching this shitty ass product. And at the end, I'll explain why I haven't been reviewing or really uploading at all, but these are my complaints with the product. So let's jump right in. For one, we have Jinder Mahal being a main eventer. Okay, I'm sorry, I still don't buy it. If you watch Battleground back, it was a 1-on-4 handicap match against Randy Orton. That's what it takes for Jinder to fucking retain. 1-on-4. Why am I supposed to believe this is a main eventer? Why? He didn't deserve the spot. They gave it to him anyway, and I'm fine with that. But the fact of the matter is, it just doesn't feel right. It wouldn't be bad on its own. For one, we had this long-ass feud with Orton. And two, right now, we can pretty much call that either Shinsuke is winning the belt and Baron's cashing in then, or Baron's cashing in during the match and walking out of SummerSlam with the title, which hopefully will reinvigorate me and make me want to watch. Next, we have Samoa Joe as a main eventer. Okay, it's the same thing as Jinder. He had no clout, and they randomly just decided, hey, you're going to be a main eventer. And, like, I get why people aren't upset about it, because, you know, people like Joe, and that's all fine and good, but I cannot stand him at this point. It's getting that bad, where, like, seeing him on TV makes me not want to watch. I mean, it's whatever, but again, wouldn't be bad on its own. But then we also have Braun Strowman as a main eventer. Has anybody sat back and realized the main event of SummerSlam yet? This is a fatal four-way. Four guys. You have Roman Reigns, the guy everybody hates. You have Brock, the part-timer that everybody hates. You have Braun Strongman. Literally, his name is Strongman. And you have Samoan Joe, who is another musclehead. How did the main event for SummerSlam, something people actually want to see, become four guys who, in theory, you would hate? I mean, I guess Joe is a little on the outside, but I still don't understand why people are okay with Braun, yet not okay with Roman. I don't understand. I don't think I ever will. Nobody can make a compelling case. I've heard people say he wasn't forced as much. Well, my argument for that is Reigns was in the company for 3 years before he started getting his main event push. Okay, Braun was in the company for a year, if that. Green as fucking goose shit. And you're telling me he deserves to be main eventer. Fuck that. Next, we have tag teams breaking up. Why? Why is this happening? So, you had one of the Vaudevillains get fired. What, Simon Gotch? Yeah, it was Simon Gotch, because Aiden English is still there. So you lost the Vaudevillains. Okay, whatever. Then you have Enzo and Cass break up, even though they never won the tag team titles. But you know what? Whatever. If you're Vince, you want to strike while the iron is hot. You want to make sure you make the most money out of it. This wasn't the right time. But Vince is the expert here, right? So, whatever. Then you have, what, American Alpha, who, frankly, never did fucking shit. And now what? One of the Colognes wants to be released. So you're down another team. Why? I was joking with Ryan at work, and I was implying that Vince didn't want tag teams anymore. And honestly, it's starting to look like that. At this point in time, you might as well just make a tag team show and just shove them there on the network. I mean, you're already getting rid of all the good shows on there anyway. Next, we have Jason Jordan being Kurt's son. I guess not illegitimate anymore, right? So, okay, so I'm fine with the storyline in theory, but I just don't feel like Jason Jordan was the right guy for it. I feel like, honestly, they wanted it to be Chad Gable. I'm pretty certain of that. And then they were like, oh shit, everybody knows, so let's change it to Jason Jordan. And now we're just left at this point where it basically seems like a joke. We had like 2-3 months of build-up for this, just for Jason Jordan to get an IC title match. I don't see what Kurt's doing for you, Jason. Chad Gable was getting US title matches on SmackDown before you guys broke up. Why can't a tag team do their own thing and not split up? And if there is a superstar shakeup, I hope and I pray that they send Chad Gable to Raw. So that way they can be a team, and yet you can have Jason Jordan also be Kurt's son. If you want to turn Jason heel, you can turn Chad heel, or you can have an interesting dynamic where one's face, one's heel. Really throw the crowd for a loop. But they won't do any of that. Okay. The Cruiserweights. They fucking suck. Let me rephrase that, because it's not the Cruiserweights who suck. It's the way they've been booked. It's the fact that Neville has been Cruiserweight champion for 8 months now. I know I do a lot of complaining about title reigns being too short, because they are. But I'm sorry, but he's had that belt. He's had that belt longer than everybody else who's had that belt put together. And I don't even care. I really don't. The Cruiserweight segments, they're dumb. The only hope we have is that is going to take the belt off of him. Like, really? I'm sorry, there's like 1-2 good Cruiserweights. And they don't even show up on Raw most of the time. And that's another thing. Why are they fucking on Raw? I get you're like, oh, we need extra people. But, come on. This is just... It's sloppy. The matches are boring. The storylines are boring. I don't care what anybody says. It's like Neville Aries had never fucking gotten gear. It went for a long-ass time. And the wrong guy ended up coming out on top. But I guess the right guy did. But if you knew he was going to leave, why did you have him lose like 3-4 times? Why didn't you swap him out or make a triple threat match? Why did you protect him in these losses? I don't understand. Next we have It's Too Long. I'm sorry guys, 5 hours over the course of 2 days. It's too long. It would be different if SmackDown was on like Thursday or Friday. Like, I don't have a DVR. So, literally, when I go to watch Raw, I have to sit there for 3 hours. I have to, for one, remember it's on. Because, frankly, I haven't been remembering recently. And then I have to sit there and watch for 3 hours, do nothing else. And it's just too much. Frankly, then with the 2 hours of SmackDown after it, a lot of people say, hey, SmackDown saves it. But to me, Raw has fucked it up so much that even if SmackDown was good, it doesn't matter. Speaking of SmackDown Live, okay, guys, so I'm going to say it. SmackDown is not good. I don't understand why I have to say it, but people are like under the spell of SmackDown Live, and that's fine. If you guys are enjoying it, you guys are enjoying it. But my main issue with SmackDown is the foreign heel overload. Okay, and I don't know if it's just me noticing this, but you have Jinder, foreign heel, your world champ. Okay, you have Kevin Owens, the guy fighting for your U.S. championship. Foreign heel is the gimmick. I know he isn't really foreign because he's Canadian, but he basically is a foreign heel. I guess the Singh brothers and Kali kind of just going with Jinder. Rusev also doing the foreign heel. It's 2017. I'm fine with the foreign heel gimmick, but when you have 3-4 important guys on your show doing it, why didn't they spread these people apart? You know I'm right. You do. When you go and you watch SmackDown, half the show is, I'm not American, so I'm better than you. And then the other person responds with, I am American, so America, fuck yeah. It doesn't do anything for me. Next we have Bray and Finn. Okay, I get it. People like Bray. People like Finn. Whatever. You know, I'm not going to say you shouldn't. Actually, I will. You shouldn't like him. Clearly, the company doesn't believe in Bray. They just keep having him job out to everybody, basically. He's 0-3 at WrestleMania. Clearly, the company believes in him enough to give him the high-profile spots, but then proceeds to bury him at every turn. Why? Honestly, there was a point where I liked Bray. But now, if I turn on Raw or SmackDown and I see Bray, I tune it out. I get up. I don't watch. And Finn Balor is not better. I'm tired of Finn Balor matches. Because as much as people bitch about Roman Reigns having really bad matches, for one, completely disagree. I haven't seen a bad Roman Reigns match in a while. But more importantly, okay, Finn Balor has the most annoying setup to his finish of anybody on the roster. It's so bad. The finisher looks stupid. Okay, and the setup, I'm going to drop kick you into the turnbuckle, looks stupid too. Both of the moves look stupid. I don't get it. He has cooler moves that he does every match that are not finishing moves or signature moves. They're not setup moves, they're just moves. He's like, I'm going to flippy kick you in the face. I'm fine with that, but my God. And the fact these guys get so much love from the fans, honestly, makes me not want to hear what you guys have to say when you say, Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor are the best. Because I get it. I like the gimmick of, hey, I am a supernatural being. But for one, Finn Balor isn't a supernatural being. He's possessed by a spirit, which they haven't explained on the main roster. And Bray Wyatt is a cult leader who can't fucking convert anybody. So I'm sorry, if you're a fan of either of these guys, you should honestly be kind of pissed with the way they've been treated on the main roster. Next, we have long-ass feuds. A few examples of this. Freaking Dean Ambrose and The Miz. How fucking long did that feud go? You don't believe me? I want to say The Miz won the title from Dean Ambrose in like January or February. No, I think Dean Ambrose won it from The Miz in January, February, whatever. The feud went on for far too fucking long. I am a Misfit. I say that every video when I say The Miz. But, I'm sorry, but a 6-7 month feud is just too much. There's no way you can spice that up. You just can't. Not in modern WWE with the way the fans are. Me included on that one. But it's just too long. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, I was sort of excited for this feud when it started. And now I have no fucking interest. You've goofed this with botched finishes and matches that we've seen like half a dozen times. Love AJ Styles. Best wrestler on the planet. Fight me, you'll lose. But my God, this has gone on for too long. Another example, Austin Aries versus Neville. That feud went on from like February until like fucking June or July. Who wants a feud that is that long? Especially when nothing of significance happens. You want to know why the Attitude Era worked? Because the big feuds that went on for a long time had twists and turns and you didn't know where they were going to go. The only twist and turn in these feuds is, man, Neville won a fucking again. Oh, Kevin Owens won the title even though AJ just won it like half a week beforehand. Even though he's going to win it back on the SmackDown after. These aren't exciting twists and turns. They're fucking not. I don't care if people think they are. To me, it's boring. And you can tell it's boring because people aren't fucking watching. The feuds are going on for far too long, and then that's part of the problem, though, because if you don't have the feuds go on for too long, then they're too short, and at which point you run through everybody. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not happy here. I'm not. But moving on. Next, I have the Bayley push. What the fuck? So, Bayley is still getting pushed? Okay, I'm one of the people who says that This Is Your Life segment was good. Okay, shoot me. I thought it was humorous. I know people didn't find it humorous. I did. And that's fine and good. But my God, her matches suck ass. They suck. And you can't tell me that they don't. They suck. I've seen so many awkward looking moves from her. And it would be different if the commentator said, hey, this is the story. She's so awkward. Sometimes she messes up her moves. Something, but they don't. You know what they do? They talk about how it's been her dream to be a wrestler. Blah, 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 fucking blah. Bayley, love you. Your theme music's great. You got a great ass. But I don't care. This was Nia Jax's spot. We all know it was. And Karma's coming back because apparently Bayley's injured now. So, wonder why. Next, we have the product is boring. This is like the overarching thing. It's also my last note. So, you sit down and you watch 3 hours of Raw, and I go to work on Wednesday and have nothing to talk about. With 5 hours of product over the course of the previous 2 days, and you don't have it interesting enough for me to want to fucking talk about it? Think about that. I remember as a kid, when I would watch Raw, the next day at school, I had to talk about it. My wrestling buddies, they knew what was going on because we all wanted to watch. We all watched every time we could. There's too much product and it all fucking sucks. It's boring. And honestly, like, the commentators suck. The matches are okay, but a lot of times the finishes suck. The characters suck for the most part. I think I'm going to do a video where, I won't spoil it, but there are going to be videos coming. But that's the other thing I wanted to get into before I dip out. So, why haven't I been uploading? So you guys are probably wondering, you're saying, hey, you know, if you don't want to talk about Raw and SmackDown, you don't have to. You just do a weekly video and discuss stuff. Maybe not even weekly, just every day, you know, just throw something out there. And that's fine and good. For one, kind of discouraged wasn't getting more subscribers, which is just stupid. But more importantly, the only videos that really do well are, for one, when I insult the IWC, which I don't like directly doing, but I've had to do twice, and both those videos did spectacular. My Roman Reigns hate is a bias video did really well, and the Finn Balor's Mega Push Stupidity video did really well. But Raw and SmackDown reviews do way better. I put up a Raw review, it gets like 20, 30 views. I put up a video talking about anything, it gets like 5. So the only way to really work through, like, the only way to build a fan base in the IWC is basically to, well, the YWC, is to upload Raw and SmackDown reviews. My problem with that is, for one, again, product is fucking boring. But two, and more importantly, when you watch it and you're typing shit out as you go, it kind of ruins the show. I don't know if people, like, if you guys have watched, if you guys have done Raw reviews or SmackDown reviews, have you felt that way? Because to me, as I'm typing this out, I'm just going, man, how am I going to spice this up for this video? How am I going to talk about this and make people care that I don't fucking know. Goldust and R-Truth are feuding. You my point. It's just, it's a mess. The Raw and SmackDown reviews are the only things that do well, which is fine, but the actual process of doing the videos makes me dislike wrestling, if that makes sense. So I do think I'm going to weekly upload because I don't want to not upload. I like this channel. I like wrestling, even though right now I could not care less about it. I will be watching the pay-per-view, so I'll probably do a SummerSlam preview, a SummerSlam review. I have a few video ideas. Shit's coming down the line, okay? But, man, the product sucks right now.